Hi and welcome back to the probably last episode of my solo playthrough of War of the Ring, the card game. And yes, we are including the Shadow bot from the Against the Shadow solo or cooperative expansion. I believe the last episode was more or less bug-free, but there was a very cool question actually that came, I think, for the second video. And that was in regard to Gimli, because I had them basically both in my hand. And again, Gimli says when played you may take Dwarven Axe from your cycle pile into your hand. The question really is, I had both of these cards in my hand. Could I have cycled the Dwarven Axe in order to pay for Gimli, to play Gimli, and then cycle the Dwarven Axe right back into my hand? Is that legal or not? I was really wondering. I think you should be allowed to do that, and if so, I think this would have been a perfect opportunity actually. So really great comment. But apart from that, I think we should be pretty much okay. I really will watch my sound levels for this video, and also moving forward I think I have some ideas how to improve that on the long run, but let's see about that. But we all know on the long run we're all dead, right? No. Okay, so we are facing two battlegrounds, Lorien and Dol Guldur, and we have to defend El Gladiel. Each free player draws two cards. That's why we have an awful lot of cards in our hand. We still have Elrond in our reserve, which is cool, but of course, yeah, that's the Shadow player's reserve. We are the starting player, we can't pass right now. And again, one idea was to send the Lembas spread together with a couple of hobbits to the path, because if we would eliminate this card with two hobbits, we would deny the Shadow player 2 victory points, basically 1 per hobbit. That is of course huge, because right now he's very much in the lead. But I also have Fatty Bolger in my hand, which I can play into my reserve, and there we could, I believe, eliminate him exactly to draw 3 cards. And these extra 3 cards would allow me to maybe pay for the others. But on the other hand, we have to play him. We have to cycle 1 card, then we have to cycle. So net we would gain 1 card, and this 1 card might be exactly the 3 cards we need to do that, right? But the High Elves, the Elven army, that would be a huge thing. We still have Elrond in our reserve. And as long as he is in our reserve, our carryover limit is increased by 1. Never a bad thing. He also brings 1 fighting power and 1 defense power for a battleground, 2 for a path, but these paths are gone. So right now, yeah, he could still help us in either of those 2 battlegrounds actually. But I believe because we are gaining 1 net card, we have to gamble here somewhat, right? So we will play Fatty Bolger in front of us, and unfortunately we have to sacrifice the High Elves, even though the High Elves, okay, let's think this through. With the Lembas we would basically kill 2 points, but we will also potentially protect the path. With these out, we would be either properly defending either of those 2 battlegrounds here. Mind, this is a 2-pointer here. It comes with this 2 if we would set Elrond up here. But no, I think both Mordor and Monsters can go there. So I guess we might, I think we will lose it anyway, right? Okay, let's cycle this back. We are still playing Fatty Bolger, and we will sacrifice cycle Mary Brandybuck for it. Because even with 1 hobbit on that path, we would still be allowed to remove 1 corruption. I think that's still not bad, and we can hold on to the Elven army, which could really help us here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Wow, I really had to think this through for quite a while actually. But that's our turn. Over to the Shadow player. Because he has an awful lot of characters and army in his reserve, he's not really worrying about his hand here. So I think we will start from right to the left. Are there any actions he can take? I think not actually. So we will start to move, and this character can move down here, and because he can conceivably win that path, he will send the destroyer down here. Right now we are still tied, but next I think Saruman will also move in here. Yes, and from there they would win. But then we have also two strong characters out for Egladil here, and we can still send Pippin to that battleground. No, I think that is okay. Back to us. We are going to do this. You may use your action and eliminate this card. You are out of here, Fatty, unfortunately, but this allows us to draw 3 cards. And even though we are drawing crappy, these 3 cards will be here to currency for our other cards. We have more high elves. Okay, what do you think about that? Nice. Second card, we have lovely Arvid, and wow, the artwork here, I mean, let me zoom in a little bit. Definitely doesn't look like Liv Tyler, but really gorgeous artwork. When played, draw 1 card, so similar to Elrond, and while in reserve, add 1 shield and 1 to Strider or Aragorn. Which we haven't, of course. But she's really supportive, it seems. But these were only 2 cards, right? Yes, indeed. We have 1 more card to draw. And that's the Blade of Westerners and Hobbit Sword, which we could also... Ooh, okay. Could also basically send together with Pippin. And yeah, it's basically 1 extra shield. Which again could help us to drive more forces to this path here. Because again, he will always try to win this path if he can. And for 1 point, or maybe it's then 1 or 2 points later on, if he's then really sacrificing or eliminating 2, 3, 4 powerful cards, that is rather huge actually. But that was our action anyway. So I guess we are continuing with Saruman. And because he's currently losing this path, but is conceivably winning it, we will send Saruman also here to Egladil. So right now, he's definitely winning here, 3 versus 1. So that's 2 victory points for him. So in order to tie here, and this would mean we could win, we have to send Pippin basically together with our Blade of Westerners. And I think Arwen, yes indeed, she can only defend basically on a battlegrounds on Lorien, for example, but she has to be supported by an elven army in order to do that, which we have, of course, which we have. But now it's really back to us, and I believe I have to send Pippin down here to Egladil, because again, I want to use Lembas, because with Lembas, again, I can remove... Yeah, I think we have to do that actually. Therefore, I guess we are... If we carry over this card... No, I think that is fine. We are going to sacrifice the Blade of Westerners. Not sacrifice, sorry. We are cycling it. It's basically 2 versus 3, so Shadow player doesn't really worry about that too much. So I guess next he's going to move the messenger to Lorien, to the battleground, because he's already winning that path. Right now, this is not contributing anything, but he can conceivably win Lorien here, because this is supported by the Mordor Orc, so this would be 2 points. And I believe together with those goblins of the Misty Mountains, they could conceivably win here. So that is important actually. So I think good news is we are kind of thinning out his forces here a little bit, because he's really strong here. He sends some folks over here. Of course, he still has 4 cards in his hand. Those could still become a problem. But let's worry about that when we get there, actually. But I believe now it's time to move Elrond to defend Lorien. I mean, that's his job, right? So he's right now only adding 1 shield in here, but in total we have 3. And right now his forces, I believe, can only come up with 3. But this would also mean he can no longer conceivably win. So is that something that we want to do actually? Because again, now we have to game the game here a little bit. Because if we're moving them here, he can no longer conceivably win, which also means he's not going to play these forces down. And I think again, I want to force his hands a little bit. On the other hand, if I play him here, I believe he will most likely play a card next, so I know what is coming. This could also be beneficial actually. No, I think not. I think not. We are going to equip our hobbit here, Pippin, with some Lembas bread. Unfortunately, these are very expensive, so it seems these high elves brought some Lembas with them and then disappeared to the cycle pile. Hilarious. Yeah, now we can basically, as a next action, yeah, to eliminate 1 corruption for each Hobbit character on the path. Again, right now it's only 1, but still we are removing 1 corruption. That is a potential victory point. I certainly take that, and now we are also handing it over to the shadow player now. I believe Ugluk is not doing anything right now because he's not supported by an Isengard army, which I believe it's used. So we're not playing pointless cards, but we can definitely send those Mordor orcs now down here to Lorien. So right now it's 2 versus 2 because now they are supported by a Mordor army, so this is now kicking in basically. And of course the strength of the army itself is still worth something, obviously. So it's now over to us, and I believe we could in theory pass, but we can also trigger Lembas now just to see how things go, right? So we are doing this. If on a path, the Hobbit player may use an action and eliminate this card to remove 1 corruption for each. We have 1 Hobbit character on the path, which means we are removing 1 corruption. That is huge. Then it's the shadow player again, and again forcing his hands. I think we will send those guys down here now, so he has to send them down. So now he has 1, 2, 3 versus 2. So he was losing, but he can win with this one here. Again, he doesn't look at my hand of cards, at my reserve whatsoever, only what's possible for him, because otherwise it would be pretty bad actually making these decisions. But right now he's winning 3 to 2. I could then send Elrond basically to this battleground just to see how things go. The thing is, I could now actually pass just to wait and see, and maybe we need to do that actually because we can pass right now. We still have Elrond, we have only 2 cards, so let's do that, which means now it's time to roll some dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the first card. Of course, again, yeah, I was worried about that, but I still think we can live with that. So I guess right now he's winning the path and the battleground, so he's not sending it here, which means we are moving it to the reserve right now. But that is quite all right, actually. Back to us. So he's winning, and I could still pass just to see what he is going to do, right? Again, we could force his hand now, actually, and we really could go strong and say we will send those high elves down here to Lorien to push him. But I think that is not really necessary. On the other hand, if we are now sending Elrond up here, it's a tie, but then we know he will send down the goblins of the Misty Mountains, right? We could send the high elves instead to this battleground here, because then we have some buffer, and we still have Elrond. I really want those 2 points here. These are really crucial, I believe. So maybe let's do that. Again, we could pass just to see what he is going to do. And then we know what is coming. Yeah, let's do that actually. Sorry, let's do that. We are passing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's this card here. And we have the Black Easterling, who's a Nazgul and gives 1 extra defense on Dol Guldur, which is out, but I think he will not go there. Again, right now he doesn't have any reasons going anywhere. So we are playing this card also into the reserve. I think we keep on passing now. This one doesn't really contribute an awful lot actually to Lorien because each army can only support 1 character. So let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We pass basically. That's what I'm going to say. We have some Mordor orcs, which, yeah, this is now... Okay, this could be problematic because potentially he has 1, 2, 3 more fighting power here, because again these Mordor orcs will now support the Black Easterling here, which, yeah, this is crap. So he can make it to 6, and I think I can also make it to 6, and this would really mean he will really spend an awful lot of resources for this battleground in Lorien. I think that's the game we need to play now, actually. The question is, should I risk this final card here? This could be an awful event which would make me whatever lose cards and do other nasty stuff. It could still mean, this is bad. I think we are losing a lot of points here still if things go south. So I guess I don't want to wait for this final card here, actually. I think because we are going to play the High Elves now to Lorien, therefore we have to cycle Lovely Arwen. She could, I think, yeah, she could really come back because we have to cycle for the last round to come, actually. Reshuffle our cycle pile. So right now we have 4 versus 3, which again means we have to force his hand. So over to him, he will definitely send these guys in here. So it's now 4 versus 4. We are basically out of cards, but we can still move Elrond up. But right now we are waiting, right? Because he's losing anyway, right? It doesn't really matter too much. But I think he will play this card anyway. I think so. So we have to, yeah, it's getting a little bit crowded here actually. So those are here. So again, these are 4 against our 4, exactly. So we are passing, yeah, let's pass. He can still not, or he can win, but he is not winning, so he will move down here. I think we still get this one here. It's now the question, does he give us still this? That's now a question. Does this round shield or the circle shield still apply here? And I think it doesn't actually. I believe this star or this circle only applies if he gets the +1 on Dol Guldur, if he is supported by an army. I believe that's the case. Or did I forget to draw a card actually? I think I forgot to draw a card. Apologies for that. So I will do that now. He should have 1 more card. But again, didn't really change the outcome. No, so in this case, I think he's not moving this guy down. But can he still win? I think he can still win, right? 4 versus 4. With this guy, he will do a 5. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 4. Okay, it's over to us. So, which means we are moving Elrond up here. And even though we would be losing this now, it would be bad. So don't get me wrong, it would be really bad because this is our turf. We need to protect that. But he now has 2 more cards to play here. I think right now we are... No, we're not tied. We have 6 actually. We have 6 because he is supported by an elven army. Nice. So I guess Ugluk doesn't apply and the Black Easterling also doesn't apply. So yeah, we have to play a card. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the 4 we are rolling here. It's the warrior. It's the warrior, and I think, yeah, I think he could, in theory, send it to the battleground, but it's still not enough because it would only tie him right now. So for now, we are sending it here to the reserve. We have to pass. We are out of cards, so let's do that. And even with that, it's not enough because, yes, he could be supported by an elven army, by a Mordor army, but I believe this is only bringing him to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these support here, they support each other. So no, this guy also goes here to this reserve, which means we are passing, they are passing. So now we have to resolve those battlegrounds. I will start down here at Lorien. It will be expensive. So these guys will basically be blocked by the natural defenses here. So they are out of here. These guys will be blocked, I don't know, either by the elven army. So these are now really gone, but they're also gone. And here we have to overspend, unfortunately, but it's still worth it. So Elrond died heroically. But those goblins, but I think, yeah, these are coming back right anyway. If this card, for any reason, exactly, for any reason. Similarly for these Mordor army, right? They will all, Mordor orcs, they will all come back into the cycle pile here. Nasty, but we were able to defend it, which means we are scoring 2 points here. This point straight goes to the shadow player, who is now at 5, 7, 10 points still. Here it's basically bad. So this guy will be blocked by this one here, right? Yes, okay, this is gone. These two are then carrying over here, which means he's only getting 1 point for this path. I think this was still okay. And Pippin comes back, right? Ibn Kafka, yes, indeed, he's a hero. But Saruman is out. Only this triggers when he is forsaken from the top of the deck. We would basically be allowed to cycle it. So Saruman is out of here. For the last round of the game, Shadow player will be the starting player. He doesn't draw any extra cards, so he's basically 1, 2, 3 cards here only, but we will also only draw 3 cards. So here are 2 more cards. Legolas, of course, and we have Galadriel. Didn't I tell you that the last card in this deck would be Galadriel? And she was. So I have to shuffle these cards, the cycle pile basically. It's a huge cycle pile actually. And then we are drawing 1 more. Okay, let's give this a cut so I'm not cheating here. And it's Gandalf the Grey. Are you kidding me? Okay, that is really quite a nice lineup for the last round of the game actually. Huge. Let's activate the next battleground, which I believe is Orthanc. Yeah, but Orthanc without Saruman, yeah, that doesn't really help. What does it do? The Isengard player may take Saruman from the draw deck or cycle pile into hand. The Isengard player recycles the cycle pile, which means drawing those cards into his deck. Saruman is out of the game. Basically not in the cycle pile. He was killed, but we will still shuffle the remainder of those. So we know there are a lot of these Modo orcs and whatnot in here, and this is not an easy one actually. So Rohan could go there, and magic characters, and we only have 1 magic character, which will not be enough. I don't think we will. Yeah, I think we will lose this game right here. Still, we have the last path to activate. That's Amon Hen, and yes, of course, it's another card for the Shadow player here. And both of these, Path and Battlegrounds, are 2 victory points for the respective side. And I think, yeah, we have a chance to at least defend Amon Hen here, because with Legolas and Gandalf, there is at least a chance. Okay, let's do this. We are sending the hunter down here to Amon Hen. That's his first action. So he's now 2-0 again. He can conceivably win, and he was currently losing. Now he is winning. So now things are not looking so pretty, because all of these folks will move down here. So he will come to 5 skulls. Are you kidding me? I think we have 3. Yeah, being starting player now would have been nice. No, we have 4 actually. We have 4 of those. But Galadriel can only go to path 5 while in reserve. Yeah, having her out early would be great, but So now it's over to us. We are at 3 cards. We no longer have Elrond, which means we can't pass right now. But honestly, I really have no clue what to do. Yeah, I think there's really not an awful lot we can do. When played, you may take Bow of Galadrim from your draw deck into your hand. Okay, this could help me actually, because I believe, do we have the bow? We can look in our Forsaken pile, and no, the bow is not in our Forsaken pile, which is good news. So I guess that's the only chance we have right now, at least to try to secure this path. I'm relatively certain we will not be able to make it, but we will have to try. So we are playing Gandalf the Grey, and we can't pass. Right, so we are playing him onto the battleground. Unfortunately, we have to pay with Galadriel. She came and left the scene. So now it's 3 versus 2 over to the Shadow player. He's going to move the warrior down because he can still conceivably win. Yes, of course, he can do that. Which means it's 3 versus 3. In theory, we could pass now, but we know what's going to happen, right? So what's the point to pass at this point in time? Because he will move down the Black Easterling for another, then he would be winning. Then again, I could pass. He will try to overcommit here. So I think let's simply do that. So we are playing Legolas. Because we don't have any more cards in our hand, we have to forsake 1 card from the top of our draw deck instead. So let's do that. If that would have been the bow, I think this would have been pretty bad. So Frodo Baggins, wow, we have to forsake him. No, if eliminated for any reason, including the cycle. Okay, no, he can't be lost, of course. And now I will take the Bow of the Galadrim into my hand. Let's see, where do I find it? At least I hope I have it. Yeah, there it is. It was the next card to come, not really. So we are taking this into our hand, but right now We have 4 versus 3, and the bow would bring us to 5. But yeah, he still has an awful lot of cards. The good thing is we have shuffled some more of the armies in there, and the armies really don't help him here. So right now, I think he can't no longer, he can conceivably win because he has S5. Yeah, this is really an evil one. So he will move the black Easterling down here. Are we passing, or should we really again force his hand? I think it doesn't matter too much. So we are going to pass actually. So it's now 4 versus, oh no, 4 versus 3, which means he wouldn't move this guy down. But this would also mean, no, he would send him down actually. Yeah, even if, no, he will do that. Even if he's winning. Ugluk is here. Oh, the thing is, no, this is now interesting. Because his ability says, or his action says, use an action to activate a different random path on the same number, and there is none. The rules for this scenario are very specific. We only have Amon Hen on this path. So I think, yeah, that's maybe an oversight or no, I don't know. So I think we can't really activate it unless this really means, no, I think it says if there are no other paths available or so, we can't do that. I could be wrong here, which would then mean we would be, no, he would only do that when he would be winning, right? Anyway, no, I think it doesn't matter. So right now he's at 5 versus our 4, indeed. Because I am now have the bow, we will equip the bow to Legolas here, of course. Therefore, we have to forsake another card. And that's Sam Gamgee. If in reserve, no, he's really gone out of here. You were a true soul. But this means we are now tied again, right? But now he's going to start playing cards here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we will most likely still lose it. But this was our long shot here. We have an event, and I don't really know all these cards, which I believe is a problem. You have to know the decks of your enemies as well, and your own deck as well. Draw up to 7 cards, play the first 2 Nazgul characters. Are you kidding me? 7 cards. I mean, we have already forsaken an awful lot, but yeah, I think with this, it's pretty much a done deal, actually. I could check now how many of those we have forsaken. So this is gone. This is gone. 3. No, that's the Balrog. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, we were lucky. We were really lucky. None of those were Nazgul. That's, I think, really the thing that we have shuffled in those other folks. I think this really did help us, actually. So we continue to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But again, sooner or later, those will come out relatively certain. And no, that's another event. Add 2 to the Nazgul on a path which we have Nazguls, which would give him a lot of points. Forsake 2 cards to add 1 corruption. I have to check again the priority here. Cycle the rightmost card. There is no reserve anymore for him. Cycle a random card from hand. Okay. This could be actually worth it. It's 1 victory point, but we are getting 2 victory points for this path. Adding 2 now here, then we have lost it right away. So I think, or we can simply add 1 corruption or draw 2 cards. I mean, this is a... Oh, I forsake 2 cards. Okay, this would mean both of these would be out. Let's do that. Yeah, sorry, I want to win this one for whatever reason. So we are taking the corruption hit, forsake 2 cards to add 1 corruption. So this is out. They're coming from the hand, so they are going into the cycle part. But this also means he has to pass. And I think this means we are ending the game here. So Orthanc clearly goes to the shadow player. But I think here we should be quite all right. And maybe could I have done something better? I think I could have won this early, but it didn't really make... Maybe it did. Oh, maybe it did. Oh, I could have used his action here before he's drawing this card. This was stupid. Yeah, take this with an asterisk. I think this 1 point we could have avoided. That's everything that happened here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a tie. We win on tie, so we get those 2 points. But everything is dead. Everyone is dead here, basically. But this ends the round because in this scenario we are only playing up to path 6. So let's tally up our points. It's not too bad, but of course it's not enough. 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we just made it to 10 measly points, whereas he has, oh, okay, that's 4, 6, 10, 12, 14 points. So yeah, clearly he won that game, but that was really no surprise. Again, maybe again, if I would have activated Gandalf's ability instead of passing, I would have denied him, I believe, 1 victory point actually. So he would be at 13 or so, but that's it. But this is, I think these are the twists that you have to think through actually, that you have to remember in order not to go down here. I apologize, I think this was a rather messy final episode, but I still think it was fun to watch and it was definitely fun to play. And overall, I really hope you enjoyed my little playthrough of War of the Ring, the card game. So I think maybe I should be doing one more training game in absolute solitude without any cameras, maybe really playing the full game, and then I could start considering to play the trilogy game on camera again. I will definitely see a whole lot new cards. Maybe I will also manage to play a 4-player game by then. This would also, I think, help me to understand the decks a little bit better and whatnot, and some of the synergies and whatnot. But I'm really excited to play this game rather sooner than later. Again, it's really great fun. It's a great puzzler. Yes, there is some luck in there in respect to the timing, but it also gives you so much replayability, especially when you play the full trilogy. You will see a lot of these random battlegrounds, not in a given order, similarly to the path. You will see different paths up to path 9, and I believe each of these stages has 3 options to that. So combined with, again, the whatever shuffling of the cards, the timing and everything, you really get a very different game each time you are playing this. So yeah, before I forget, huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. You guys are truly amazing. Can't tell you enough how much I appreciate all your support. Yeah, if you want to join my little crowd on Patreon, you will find a link. You can join me here on YouTube directly. There is a thanks button below the video for a small or not so small donation. Definitely like and subscribe, leave a comment. This also greatly helps the channel. I really appreciate that. Big deal as well. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.